sentences. Every step is something new, perfect to refresh you. Live your favorite memory. Malaysia, land of memory. Keep your favorite memory. Malaysia, land of memory. Malaysia, truly Asia.
OSIM.
Where do I go when I've got nowhere to hide? When will I feel like I'm truly living life? I'm waiting around, trying to find my time. I've gone out of bounds, hoping to see a sign. Then I wake up and I start.
Search no more, it's here, fun and joy, endless cheer. The memories so dear, after years, still so clear. Journey into this and search no more, it's here.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to day 2 of the first NVA USA event of 2021. We're at the Pierce Sports Complex here in Southern California, getting ready for our first match of the day, the 9 a.m. game versus, we have the Las Vegas Ramblers playing against Southern Exposure. For, again, the first match of the day. We have a full schedule today, 5 matches on the docket. Again, the 9 a.m. match, the Las Vegas Ramblers, who played last night, currently at 1-0 so far in this event, versus Southern Exposure, who also pulled out a victory yesterday as well. My name is Matt Prosser. I have a sideline reporter, Victoria Dennis, who will check in throughout the day's events. and we're excited to be able to bring this live volleyball event to you wherever you may be watching. About 8 minutes from game time here as the teams are finishing up their warm-ups, getting the legs loose, shoulders ready for what should be a very highly competitive match this morning, with some quality players from around the country, around the world, have played professionally, overseas, domestically for some very well-known colleges on both teams as well. Again, the Las Vegas Ramblers versus Southern Exposure. Game time about 8 minutes away. Some key players for both teams, just to review and get people prepared on what the rosters will look like. For the Las Vegas Ramblers, you'll notice their opposite hitter, number 14, Ryan Mather, out of the South Bay area, played his high school volleyball at Redondo Union High School for Coach Duncan Avery, as well as his college ball for the Grand Canyon University Antelopes and Matt Worley out there in Phoenix. Ryan Mather was the MVP of the 2020 NVA Cup that we held back in November in Salt Lake City. If you were able to view that, you saw a very strong performance from Ryan Mather throughout that tournament. In the middles, you'll see number 11, Antoine Aguilar, a former Long Beach State 49er, and has played several years overseas in a couple different countries, I believe Sweden, Finland, Spain, and has been playing some pretty high-level volleyball for the Ramblers over the last 2 years. You'll see number 99, the libero for the Ramblers, that's Ryan Manoujian, taking over the back row responsibilities. As their coach stated, pass and defense are two very important aspects of men's volleyball, and Ryan will be carrying that load as well. The setting duties will fall on Tanner Maxwell for the Ramblers. We'll be able to tell him by his jersey number 1 and those long flowing locks that he has. Carried the setting responsibilities last year as well, and look for him to run a smooth offense all over the court. We've got their outside hitters, Ryan Schickling and Brendan Rattray. For Southern Exposure, some of their key players that you'll be hearing and seeing a lot of action out of will be number 14, Jacob Ciesla. He's our outside hitter. Had a strong match yesterday. Their libero, number 5, that is Johnny Gomez. Look for him. He played out of George Mason University. Langston Payne, a 6'6" middle, wearing number 16. Also from George Mason University. We're about 4.5 minutes away from game time. We get a quick national anthem and some starting lineups. Get through the necessary startups. And get this game going for the 9 a.m. start here on this beautiful Saturday morning. Once again, thank you for being here. This is day 2 of event number 1 for 2020 in the NVA National Volleyball Association. Okay. Okay. How-
change the clock hour. I tried to do it
Yeah, I guess I'm ready as I'll ever be, so let's go. Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Pierce Sports Complex and our first event, day number 2. Here we go, the 9 a.m. match. Setting up the Las Vegas Ramblers in the gold jerseys versus Southern Exposure, the black jerseys with pink trim and light blue print across their chests. My name is Matt Prosser. Victoria Dennis will be reporting from the sidelines. Excited to have you here for another exciting day. We've got 5 matches on the schedule today as we work our way through, again, event number 1 of our 2021 season here in the National Volleyball Association. Starting lineups for both teams. Here we go. For the Las Vegas Ramblers, we have number 11, Antoine Aguilar. Number 20, Brandon Ratray, All-American out of UCLA. Number 21, outside hitter Kyle Radecki. Number 24, middle blocker Mark Lane. Number 9, Shane Duho looks to be the setter. And rounding out that starting group will be number 3, Maxwell Osmondson, an outside hitter from Hope International University. For Southern Exposure, starting out with the libero, number 5, Johnny Gomez in the powder blue jersey. Number 16, Langston Payne, middle blocker 6'6" from George Mason. Number 7, Lev Gershfeld, outside hitter from San Jose State University. Setter number 15, Derek Sullivan. Opposite hitter number 14, that's Jacob Ciesla. And I believe the other starting middle was number 8, Tim Lurich. Ball passed up by Southern Exposure. Quick attack out of the middle, dug up by the Ramblers. Ratray tips it over, dug up by Ciesla. Left side attack into the pin, out of bounds. The first point of this match to the Ramblers. Serving for the Ramblers will be number 3, Maxwell Osmondson. Outside again to number 7. That one was hit off the block and out of bounds for a point. Southern Exposure finds their first point of the match on back-to-back swings from number 7, Lev Gershfeld. Here's Derek Sullivan jump serving. Passed up by Osmondson. Left side attack by Ratray. High hands off for the point to the back corner. Now we will have Antoine Aguilar go back to serve. Middle blocker out of Las Vegas, 6'8". Jump hybrid float serve down the line. Passed up by Gershfeld. Left side attack by Ciesla. Blocked back by the Ramblers. Ciesla again from the left. That ball goes long through the inline. Point to the Ramblers, hitting error by Jacob Ciesla. Here's Antoine Aguilar for his second serve, trying to get a nice little early morning run going. Jump float serve down the line. Quick attack. Not able to be controlled by the Ramblers, so give that point to Southern Exposure, and a kill for number 16, Langston Payne. 6'6" middle blocker out of George Mason University. So here's number 7, Lev Gershfeld, the jump serve. Rolled over, passed by Manouchian. Quick attack by Lane. That finds the hands but goes out of bounds as the Ramblers bounce back with a quick side out middle attack. Here's Steve Duho with the jump float serve down the line. Left side, sort of an X1 lob attack by Southern Exposure, throwing a little juke move into it. That was number 1, Tyler Hubbard, getting his first kill of this match. Nice set play out of that serve receive by Southern Exposure. Caught the Ramblers block and defense sleeping a little bit. Payne with a jump float serve. Left side attack by the Ramblers, number 21. Kyle Radecki gets his first swing and kill of the match. Here's Brandon Ratway from the back row. Jump serve. Passed up by Lev. Quick attack, dug up by Ratway as well. Ratway out of the back row. Dug up by Southern Exposure. Here's a bump set to Cisla. Blocked back, covered. Quick attack in the middle. Dug up. Right side attack by the Ramblers. That's controlled and dug. Quick attack in transition by number 8, Tim Lurich for the quick point. Like to see a lot of quick attacks in transition out of the middle, challenging the Ramblers block and defense to get set for a quick attack in transition and a quick kill for the side out. So here's number 14, Jacob Ciesley. He's a 6'5" opposite from Cal State Northridge. Overset, and we have a net violation. I'm sorry, a back row attack violation as that set drifted over the net. So the discussion is that Stephen Duho jump set that ball from inside the 10-foot line, and the ball went over the net, which classifies him as a back row attacker, which is against the rules. Give the point to Southern Exposure, and Cisla will have another chance at his jump serve. Passed up by Ratray. Backside attack. And a net violation on Southern Exposure as Tyler Hubbard finds the net and acknowledges that he did, in fact, break the rules by touching the net and give the point to Las Vegas Ramblers. Mark Lane with a jump float serve, passed up by Lurich. As that ball finds the net, hitting error for Southern Exposure, and the Ramblers build their lead to 7-5. 2-point lead for the Ramblers as Mark Lane jump floats, little out of system bump set. Cisla down the line and dug. Back row attack in transition against a 3-man block by Southern Exposure. That looked to be Hubbard getting that block as he celebrated the stuff down, and a point for Southern Exposure, now 6 serving 7. So here's Tyler Hubbard-Neal, 6'2" outside hitter from Battle Creek, Michigan. His jump serve, passed by Ratray. Backside attack by the Ramblers. Over the block and out of bounds. Kyle Radecki, unfortunately, can't find the fingertips or the corner as Southern Exposure now ties the game at 7 points apiece. Tyler Hubbard back to serve once again for Southern Exposure. Jump floats, cross court, pass by Manoujian. Radecki again controlled. Here's Hubbard out of the back row in transition for another kill. So Tyler Hubbard going on a nice little run. And we will have our first technical timeout of this match as Southern Exposure scores 3 straight points to take a 1-point lead. 8 serving 7 in this early action of game number 1 here on day 2, National Volleyball Association. And as both teams coming out of that technical timeout, we do have technical timeouts at 8 and 15, I believe, as we work our way through this first set of match number 1, Southern Exposure versus the Las Vegas Ramblers. And here's Tyler Hubbard jump serving, cross court, passed up by Manouchian. Outside attack, blocked back. Sullivan with an overpass, that's dug up. Right side attack by Radecki. He goes a two-handed slam set, finds the fingertips and score the point. 8 serving 8 as we have ourselves another tie. Here's number 21, Kyle Radecki. 6'4", opposite from Irvine Valley College. Comes his jump serve. Passed up by Lev. Quick attack by Hubbard. High hands, dug up by Rattray. Out of system set. Back row attack, dug up by Hubbard. Overpass attack by Osmondson, blocked back. Antoine Aguilar seals that cross-court attack and gets his first block of this match, as we do expect to see many more of those as this match continues. A well-formed block by the Ramblers. And Gershfeld gets credit for the hitting error. It's Radecki's jump serve down the line and finds the corner for an ace. First ace of the day, first ace of this match. Our score is now 10 serving 8, with the Ramblers earning a nice 2-point cushion. Kyle Radecki ready for his jump serve. High toss, that one doesn't find the court. Service error for Kyle Radecki, and it is now 9 serving 10. There's Tim Lurich preparing his serve for Southern Exposure. Jump serve, passed up by Osmondson. Quick attack, blocked back. And unfortunately, Antoine Aguilar's momentum carried him into the net after that attack. And give the point to Southern Exposure, and we are deadlocked at 10 points apiece. So Lurich once again back to jump serve for Southern Exposure. Passed by Rattray. Osmondson on the left. Controlled, dug by Tyler Hubbard. Setter dump from number 15. Derek Sullivan getting involved in this match. Offensive setters always looking to score points for their teams, not just by setting good hittable balls, but getting involved and throwing in an occasional dump and getting themselves on the scoreboard as well in the points category. Here's Lurich. Out of system pass by Rattray. Down ball, nice adjustment. Good footwork by Brendan Rattray, the #1 leading scorer in the professional league in Spain last year. Gets his feet to the ball, jumps, and gets a nice out-of-system kill for the Ramblers, as they needed that to tie this match again at 11 points apiece. It's Max Osmondson passing. Serves over to Gershfeld. There's a back row attack by Sisla, and that ball finds the antenna off the block. Score the point to Sisla, and it is now 12 serving 11 for Southern Exposure. Derek Sullivan, excuse me, back to serve for Southern Exposure. Jump serve, spins that ball awkwardly off the hand, and it goes out of bounds long. Service error for Southern Exposure. Both teams relying heavily on their serve game. Obviously, we want to keep the ratios preferably at 2 errors to one ace. It's passed up by Tyler Hubbard. Back row set. Sisla from the left side getting a nice swing and kill. As you saw, an out-of-system set. Libero taking over the setting responsibilities on that play. Nice athletic set from number 5, Johnny Gomez. Here's Lev Gershfeld. His jump serve. Passed up, overpass by Osmondson. Right side attack by Sisla. That ball once again, some confusion here. Some confusion on if the ball went off the block into the antenna or into the antenna first. So we will have a little conference at the up ref stand to get a little better clarification of what exactly happened. We'll have to check our high definition instant replay system. And there's clarification that the ball did in fact go off the block and into the antenna. So give that kill credit to number 14, Cisla, the right side attacker for Southern Exposure, as Lev Gershfeld goes back to serve once again for Southern Exposure. Nice jump serve, passed up by Manoujian. Left side attack, Rat Ray, cross court for the winner. And another point goes to the Ramblers for a good side out. Here comes number 9, Stephen Duho, the setter for Las Vegas Ramblers, a 6'4" setter out of the University of Hawaii. .6'4" seems to be a little generous, if I'm being honest. Nice quick attack, dug up by Manoujian. Osmondson can't find the court on that swing, perhaps would like to take that opportunity back, but an aggressive miss nonetheless as Southern Exposure earns the side out. Payne's jump float serve, passed by Rat Ray. Rat Ray attack on the right side, clearly going OT on the block, and a nice cross-court hit from the right side as the outside hitter, Brennan Rat Ray, former UCLA Bruin, scores the point for his Ramblers. Rat Ray now back on the inline for Las Vegas Ramblers. Comes his jump serve. Strong serve, but that finds the out of bounds part of this court as we have come to our second technical timeout in set number 1 of match number 1 on day 2, the National Volleyball Association. Las Vegas Ramblers currently down by 2 points to Southern Exposure, 14-16. Early competitive action here on this Saturday morning.
Search no more, it's here, fun and joy, endless cheer. The memories so dear, after years, still so clear. Journey into this and more. Come on over and explore. Different world, you surely say. Nothing more one can ask for. Just treat your senses. Experience is no pretenses. Every step is something new, perfect to refresh you. Live your favorite memory. Malaysia, land of memory. Keep your favorite memory. Malaysia, land of memory. Malaysia, truly Asia.
Southern Exposure's Jacob Cisla, the 6'5" outside hitter. The Boca Raton, Florida native, prepares for his jump serve. Overpass by the Ramblers, and that overpass attack goes out of bounds by Derek Sullivan, as he wishes he could have that opportunity back, and says you're welcome, Ramblers, for the free point. Apologies, that was number 8, Tim Lurie. There's Mark Lane with the jump float, passed up. Right side attack by Cisla down the line for the point as the Southern Exposure make a quick turnaround for that side out. 17 serving 15. Early action, game number 1. Here's Tyler Hubbard, 6'2" outside hitter, jump serve. Cross court pass by the libero, out of system, Aguilar with a bump set. Osborne rolls it through, dug up. It's a double contact on number 15, Derek Sullivan, as the man in blue decided that that was not a good set to continue playing volleyball with. And we'll have our first substitution. The Ramblers will have a double sub come in as Ryan Mather comes in for number 9, Duho, and number 8, Michael Keegan coming in for, looked like number 21, Kyle Radecki. So here's Keegan with a chance to earn his team some points from the inline. Jump float serve coming, passed up by Hubbard. Left side attack coming from Hirschfeld. And we have a net violation on number 14 in goal. That's Ryan Mather. Unfortunately, again, Ramblers with their third net violation of this early game so far, and giving away 3 points for the Ramblers. And here's number 8, Tim Lubridge, jump serving, passed up by the libero in black. Quick attack. However, his foot is on the line, so we have a backcourt violation by Rattray. And Southern Exposure gets a third point, another point to make it a 3-point lead, 19 serving 16. Tim Lubridge once again with a jump serve coming from Southern Exposure, passed up by Manouchian. Left side attack by Mather. Cross court for the winner. Mather redeems himself after that early net violation for his first kill of this match. We have 17 serving 19 now. Ramblers down by 2. Here's Osmondson with a jump float serve. Down the line by Gershfeld, passed up. And a quick attack by Payne out of the middle. Nice quick attack, whisked away for the point. As Southern Exposure continues to ride their middles on those good passes from their back row players. First team to 20 points, statistically has a stronger possibility of winning this game as Rattray swings down the line for a strong attack by the Ramblers. Well played by Rattray. Nice lineup of attack for a point. Antoine Aguilar goes back to serve. For the team in goal, out of Las Vegas, the Ramblers, currently down by 2. Aguilar with a jump float serve. Passed by Hubbard. Outside set to Cicelo. Roll shot dug up. Out of system set by Osmondson. Mather from the right side. Roll shot and dug by Gomez. Left side attack by Cicelo again. Walk back and covered. Cicelo again from the left. Roll shot dug up by Rattray. Left side attack. Roll shot. And we have another net violation. This time on Southern Exposure. It looked like that was Lev Gershfeld into the net as the Ramblers pull within 1.
Okay. Let me know when my mic is live. I'm ready for a plug.
We have a timeout called by Southern Exposure. And I'll throw it over to Victoria Dennis for a quick inset. What do you have, Victoria?
Thanks, Matt. Yes, in this timeout, the teams are definitely discussing how they need to close out this first set. Southern Exposure needs to limit their errors here against the Ramblers. Their first ball side out looks good. Ramblers still taking big swings. As we will see who will close out this first set, limiting errors for Exposure. Ramblers need to continue their big offense. Stop shotting the ball, shooting the ball to the middle of the court, and get up and take rips on it.
Awesome insight, Victoria. Thank you very much for that. Insider information from both coaches' inputs during that third timeout. That's the first timeout Southern Exposure called for this match. They have one more timeout this game as the Ramblers have yet to use a timeout. Here's Antoine Aguilar once again, 19 serving 20, jump float, passed up by Hubbard. Quick attack by Payne, solo off in the middle. Mark Lane brings the game back to a tie, 20-20 as the Ramblers continue to manufacture points. Strong block in defense and not allowing Southern Exposure to side out. And Antoine Aguilar now on his third serve of this mini run by the Ramblers. Float, pass by Hubbard once again. Out of system, Cicelo from the left, dug up by Rattray. Rattray in transition, walked up. Here comes the set from Gomez. Cicelo on the left. That ball goes out of bounds. No net violation, no touch. And the Ramblers are now find themselves in the lead, 21 serving 20. Quite the turn of events here. That's about a 4-point run for the Ramblers late in this first set. Antoine Aguilar jump floating again to Hubbard. Pass in the middle. Cicelo from the left. That's blocked back. Covered. Gomez again setting. One-on-one. That ball is dug up but can't find the court. The Southern Exposure get a much-needed side out to tie this game once again at 21 apiece. Here we have Lev Gershfeld, 6'3" outside hitter from Moscow, Russia, preparing to jump serve for Southern Exposure. 21-21, late action in this first set. That ball doesn't make it over the net. Easy side out for the Ramblers. As Ryan Mather Walks back to the end line. It's Ryan Mather, 6'8", opposite from Redondo Beach, California. Tournament MVP from the event in Utah last November. Pass by Gomez. Quick attack by Payne and blocked by Lane. Another quick attack out of system, done by Mather. Rat Ray on the left in transition. Off the foot of Sullivan. Not able to be contained, and that is another point for the Las Vegas Ramblers as they now have a 2-point lead, and we see Southern Exposure called their second timeout as we get to the business end of this first set here. Ramblers have really turned it on late in this set. They were just down a few minutes ago, 17-21. And they find themselves currently with a 2-point lead now, 23-21. Southern Exposure needs to find a way to manufacture some side outs and then score some real points if they want to have a chance at coming back to at least tie this first set, maybe force some extra volleyball. But right now the Ramblers have somehow managed to maintain all the momentum late in this first set. Once again, number 14, Ryan Mather now set to serve for the Ramblers. 23 serving 21. High toss, strong jump spin serve. Passed up by Gomez. Right side attack from Cecil. Cross court to the point. That was a one-on-one block and hit combo. Rat Ray reached out to the line and Cecil said, "Thank you, I will hit that cross court for the point." Southern Exposure getting a much needed side out. And we'll see a substitution here. Number 2, Eddie Rushikian, 5'11", back row player out of Santa Clarita, California, coming in to serve for number 16, Black. And he gets it in, soft libero for the Ramblers. So nice substitution by the coaching staff for the Southern Exposure as we're deadlocked at 23. And now we have a timeout called by the Ramblers coaching staff and head coach Vince Rodriguez. 23 all, business into this first set. Looks to be as if we'll have a deuce game here to start the day. Ramblers talking about what they need to do. Sort of probably just trying to ice the serving sub for Southern Exposure, but I'm sure the Ramblers have some tricks up the sleeve. They've got Rat Ray in the front row, Mark Lane as well in the front row. Their offense obviously has got to start with a good pass, as any offense does. Good pass is required to run a good, smooth offense with multiple hitting opportunities. The Southern Exposure and the Ramblers come back on the court. We have, once again, Max. Excuse me. It's not Max, it's Eddie Shikian, the serving sub here, number 2 in black. Jump spin serve. Passed up by Osmondson. Rat Ray goes cross court, dug up. Left side attack by Hubbard. Blocked back by Lane. And number 8 in goal. That's Michael Keegan forming a nice 2-man block as the Las Vegas Ramblers will now have set point. And then Rat Ray prepares to serve. Set point for the Ramblers. Southern Exposure subs out their players again. Rat Ray prepares for his jump serve. Dug up by Gershfeld. Quick attack out of the middle by number 8, Tim Lulich. Really a key set there by Derek Sullivan, going up high, using all of his 6'6" frame to save that pass from going over the net and setting quick in the seam there between the blocking players for the Las Vegas Ramblers. Here's Alex Cecil, jump serve into the net. Okay, here's Mark Lane. Match point, game point for the Ramblers. Overpass and scored on a block by Antoine Aguilar. And Michael Keegan. As the Ramblers come back and win that first set, 26-24. let me know when you have something that you want to throw in, and then I can, yeah, give you the lead up. Sure. Throw a piece of paper at me. Sure. Speedy, is there a way that I can speak to you that it's not getting broadcasted or not? Okay. Okay. That's fine. Thank you. Just wanted to ask. And then this is live through all the timeouts as well, right? Understood. Okay. Thank you. Welcome back to the Pierce Sports Complex here, and day number 2 of our first event of 2021 for the National Volleyball Association. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Matt Prosser. I'll be with you throughout the day. We have 5 matches on the calendar today, on the schedule. Every 2.5 hours we have a match set, so lots of action today. This is match number 1. Las Vegas Ramblers squaring off against Southern Exposure. Las Vegas Ramblers coming back from behind late in that game. They were down 17-21. They come back to steal that first set, 26-24. Take that crucial first game victory. Some players come back out onto the court. So no very notable player substitutions. Appears to be all the same key players from both squads. See key players who that first set for the Ramblers was number 20, Brendan Rattray. Will be saying his name quite a bit throughout this match and the rest of the NVA season. Obviously for Southern Exposure, number 14 was Jacob Ciesla. He was a key player, their opposite hitter for the team in black. Also Tyler Hubbard, the other outside hitter. So here's Derek Sullivan, setter for Southern Exposure, starting off game number 2, match 1. Jump serve, that's passed up by Mnuchin. Left side attack by Rattray. By number 16, Langston Payne with a good, strong 2-man block, not letting Rattray find the cross-court real estate for the kill. Payne gets into the blocking category with the first point of the second set. Once again, Derek Sullivan carrying the jump serve. Passed it by Mnuchin. Right side attack this time. That ball goes out of bounds, off the block. Point for the Ramblers. So we do see one personnel change here so far for the Ramblers. Michael Keegan getting credit for that kill. And here's Antoine Aguilar jump serving, passed up by Hubbard. Quick attack by Payne, and that one's slapped down for the point. And that point goes over to the Southern Exposure for an early 2-1 lead here in game number 2. Lev Gershfeld passed up. Quick attack by Lane. Controlled, but we have a net violation on number 24 in gold as he floated into the net. Lev Gershfeld continuing to serve for Southern Exposure. Jump serve from Gershfeld. Passed it by Osmondson. Left side attack, Rat Ray, control. However, another net violation now by Southern Exposure this time. Seems to be it was Langston Payne with the net violation. So give the point to the Ramblers. Down by 1, 2 serving 3. Here's the setter Duho now preparing the float serve. That ball can't find real estate on the other side, and it gets blocked back by the net for a service error to the Ramblers. We have Langston Payne now back to serve for Southern Exposure. Early service action back and forth. This one's passed up by Nugent. The left side attack down the line, and that ball goes out of bounds. That was 21, Kyle Radecki with the hitting error. Southern Exposure finds themselves with an early 3-point lead, 5 serving 2. Langston Payne, 6'6", middle blocker with a jump float serve. Passed up to the 10-foot line. Left side attack by Radecki. Controlled and done by Gershfeld. Back row attack in transition. That one finds the hands and goes out of bounds for another point for Gershfeld. So, Lev Gershfeld being involved and relied upon heavily out of the back row for some quality defense and a high ball hitting in transition. As well as Langston Payne continues to jump float serve. Down the line, this time passed by Rat Ray. Right side attack, Rat Ray. That ball goes out of bounds as he looks for a touch that he won't get. Southern Exposure continues to build their lead, now 7 serving 2. Langston Payne, back again. Radley this time with a strong right side attack, making up for his previous error, as the Ramblers earning much needed side out. So they find themselves down 3 serving 4. I think we've got some quick insight from Victoria Dennis here real fast. And that serve goes out of bounds. And Victoria, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Matt. Yes, coming into set number 2, Southern Exposure talked about how they erred late in the game. They need to limit their service errors and also get touches off the block so they can convert in defense. The Ramblers talked about their blocking discipline. They need to be disciplined blocking 2 pins and also where the setter dump. As Southern Exposure setter is very active
The former Matador from Cal State Northridge. 6'6" opposite hitter. Jump serve, comes across, passed up by Manouchian. Left side attack by Osmond. High hands for a touch and out of bounds. Give the point to the Ramblers and a kill for number 3, Max Osmondson. The 6'2" outside hitter from Hope International University here in Southern California. 4 serving 8. Ramblers find themselves down in a small deficit. Back row attack by Gershfeld with a big, solid stuff block by Antoine Aguilar. Once again, Antoine Aguilar making his presence known along the net as probably the best key blocker for the Ramblers. Former Long Beach State volleyball player Antoine Aguilar has had a nice professional career overseas and is super excited to be playing professionally here in Weston. Cecil with a back row attack controlled by the Ramblers. Back row attack by Rat Ray. That finds Gershfeld, who can't dodge. And that is is another point for the Ramblers, and a good side out in transition gives the Ramblers a real point. Now 6 serving 8. Mark Lane, once again, jump float serve, and that ball finds the net for a service error. Something the Ramblers can't afford to continue having as they are currently down by 3 points. Tyler Hubbard now going back to jump serve for the team in pink and black. Southern Exposure. Toss, good spin serve, pass by Rattray. Outside attack by Osmondson. Down the line, misses the court. No touch indicated, and that ball scores a point for Southern Exposure. It's Osmondson with the hitting error. Southern Exposure continuing to create some cushion in the second set. Hubbard's serve goes long, out of bounds. Service error and point to the Ramblers. Here's number 21, Kyle Radecki back to serve for the team in goal. Irvine Valley College alumni. Plays college volleyball for Tom Pestalacci now. That jump serve finds the net. Side out goes to Southern Exposure for an easy point. And 11 serving 7. Number 8, Blue Rich, jump serve. Pass by Rattray, up to the net. Antoine with a slap over, dug up. Osmondson to the left in transition. And a nice two-way walk forward there by Southern Exposure. Give the point to the team in black. It was Payne and Sullivan pairing up for a nice block on the left side attack by the Ramblers. And we have a score of 12, serving 7. Derek Sullivan, excuse me, Tim Lurich, 6'5". Outside hitter finds the out of bounds portion of our court. Point over to the Ramblers. Service errors continue to plague both teams a little bit here. There's a fine line between risk and reward when we're serving in volleyball, and right now there's a few too many risks and not enough rewards there. Set over, passed up by Rattray. Rattray in transition, that's done by Gershfeld. Ciesla in transition. Off the hands for a point. Jacob Ciesla earning a kill in transition out of the back row for Southern Exposure as their lead gets back to 5 points. Now have Derek Sullivan back to serve, the 6'6" setter from Richmond, Virginia. It's his jump serve coming. Pass by Manouchian. Left side attack by Rattray, tipped. Pancaked, but not able to get played up. As the Ramblers come back and earn their side out. Rattray with a nice touch, showing some good range. Placed that ball perfectly over the two-man block. The Southern Exposure and the back row players weren't able to pick it up. Antoine Aguilar now set to jump float serve. Passed up by Gomez. Quick attack by Payne, controlled and dug. Right side attack by the Ramblers, begging for a touch. No touch indicated by any of the team in blue. So that is a hitting error by number 21, Kyle Radecki. There's no instant replay, there's no challenge system, unfortunately, here for the National Volleyball Association this weekend. And then we have Lev Gershfeld back to serve now for Southern Exposure, 14 serving 9. Inside hitter from Moscow, Russia. Jump serves. It's passed by the libero. Rattray, he swings hard, attacking a line blocker, Jacob Ciesla, who gets that ball bounced off of his head and out of bounds for a point. Ramblers down by 4. Earned a few points here before our second technical timeout. Duho now back with his jump float serve. Pass by Gomez, out of system. Bump set to Ciesla. Roll shot, dug up by Manouchian. Left side attack by Rattray. Cross court for the winner. Sharp cross court attack by the former UCLA Bruin. Ramblers now pull within 3. Duho with the jump float serve once again. Pass by Gomez. Left side attack by Hubbard, blocked up, dug by Duho. Out of system set here. Right side attack, Radecki roll shot, dug by Gomez. Left side attack by Hubbard. Hit off the block and out of bounds for a point for Southern Exposure. Give back to Tyler Hubbard. And we've come to our second technical timeout, 15-11. My apologies, we won't be taking a second technical timeout. As Langston Kane with the jump float serve, passed by Venusian. Left side attack by Radecki. Block back. That's number 8. Tim Lulich getting his first block of the match. And now we will take our second technical timeout. My apologies. 8 and 16. And welcome back, volleyball fans. This is the National Volleyball Association match number 1 of day 2 here. Las Vegas Ramblers currently in a 5-point deficit. Game number 2. They did win set number 1, 26-24, but Southern Exposure has come out of the gates in set number 2 with a bit more conviction, and they've been able to build a 5-point lead here halfway through set number 2. Quick medical timeout here as one of the players in gold. I think that's number 9. Duho getting a quick bandage around his wrist or something to maybe address a little cut or blister that he got during that timeout. Got a short pause in action here. Okay, here we go. Number 9, that's Stephen Duho comes back onto the court, taking the setting responsibilities for the team in gold, the Las Vegas Ramblers. And we're all set to get back to action here. Here's Langston Payne preparing to jump float serve for Southern Exposure, currently with a 5-point lead halfway through the second set. Passed up by Rattray, left side attack. Radecki, little back tip, dug up by Sullivan. Free ball coming, blocked up by Lane, and he gets the credit for a solo block as he blocks the basically free ball attempt from Southern Exposure. A bit unconventional, but a point nonetheless for the Las Vegas Ramblers. So here's Brandon Rattray, 6'5" outside hitter from UCLA. Just wrapped up a professional season in Spain. Strong jump serve. Pass by Gershfeld. Left side attack by Hubbard. Solo block, but covered. Hubbard again, out of system roll shot. This time dug up and controlled. Slapped over by Radecki. Cicelo roll shot, 3-man block. Cicelo again from the right. And he gets the point. Nice kill in transition. We saw some good coverage there. Players covering their hitters. One of the most important aspects of volleyball is covering your hitter, making sure you elongate the play, make sure that you're there for your hitters when they get blocked to give your team another chance as you see them earning a point after the coverage. Cicelo with the jump serve, passed by the libero. Lane out of the middle, but dug by Gershfeld. Free ball coming from Southern Exposure. Will Rattray passes, right side attack by Radecki, high hands for the point. So Kyle Radecki getting warmed up again in the second set. The Ramblers now down by 4 points, 13 serving 17 as we see Mark Lane go to the back row and Antoine Aguilar get inserted back to the front row. Lane's jump float, passed up by Hubbard. Inside attack, back row by Cecil, controlled by Rattray. Quick attack in transition, dug by Gomez. Back row attack by Gershfeld for a point. And the Ramblers not forming their three-man block in transition precisely strong enough to get that block as Gershfeld finds a seam and scores the point. Southern Exposure inching closer to the first team to 20 here. Tyler Hubbard with a jump serve. As that serve finds the net, I've been informed that Victoria Dennis has got some good insights for us, so let's throw it over to Victoria. What do you got for us, Victoria?
Thanks, Matt. Yes, out of that timeout, Southern Exposure continue to talk about their blocking and transition and defense. Ramblers are trying different lineups, but they're confident in their flow with their Vegas guys and LA guys, so we'll be seeing that this match as well. Matt?
Awesome, Victoria. Thank you for that. Quick substitution here as Keegan now back jump float serves for the Ramblers. Off the tape, passed up, dug up by Rattray. Ramblers in transition, Mather. He gets blocked in transition. Maybe not the best set. Mather not getting the set that he was hoping for as his attack gets blocked back and a point goes to Southern Exposure. 19 serving 14 now. Tim Lurich preparing to serve. Southern Exposure looks to even this match at one set apiece as we get to the business end of the second set. Aguilar gets blocked back. Payne throws down the overpass as that ball was on top of the net. Very much a live ball for him to take advantage of, as he does. Give him a credit for that point. And Southern Exposure is the first team to 20 now. So service error from number 8. New Rich. Ramblers now down by 5. Max Osmondson preparing to serve. Looking to recreate the magic that they had in that first set when they came back from 4 points down. Derek Sullivan says not yet, but however, we now have a net violation called on Derek Sullivan. He's not arguing it, so he seems to be conceding that he did in fact violate that net on his dump attempt and give that point to the Ramblers, now down by 4. Osmondson with his jump float serve. It's by Hubbard. Backside attack by Cecil, dug up. Rattray slaps it over, and that ball finds the floor for a quick point. Over on 2 by Rattray. The Ramblers on a 2-point run, taking advantage of some lucky breaks and setter dump errors. Osmondson once again, jump float. Going at Gershfeld this time. Quick attack by Payne. Slap around, but not able to get back over the net. So Payne gets credit for the kill on a 31 attempt. Nice to see them expand their middle quick hitting arsenal a little bit more as Langston Payne gets credit for that kill. 21, serving 17, identically to where we were in set number 1 just a couple minutes ago. Derek Sullivan jump serves off the tape, overpass by Osmondson. Gershfeld dug up. Osmondson gets called for the double contact. That point goes to Southern Exposure. Vince Rodriguez seems to be a little confused on why that was called a double contact. The ball was spinning when it came out of Osmondson's hands. Osmondson is not a setter, so I thought that was a fair call personally. It's not the best set I've seen today. And we currently have a timeout by the Ramblers. That's their first timeout. Down by 5 points, 17 to 22. Late action in set number 2 of match 1 here. Ramblers versus Southern Exposure. So, Ramblers trying to create some strategy, create a little sense of urgency, and trying to retake the momentum that they had late in game 1 where they came back to win. Southern Exposure talking about what their strategy is on block and defense, where they want to pass the ball, who they want to serve to, as they try to even this match at 1 set apiece. As Derek Sullivan now is preparing to serve once again for Southern Exposure. Jump serve from Sullivan, pass by Mnuchin. Right side attack coming from Mather. OT, the 3-man block. The ball is live off the ceiling, and Gomez shovels it over for a free ball. Left side attack by Rattler. Again, a little lob. X1 play in transition. Nice to see their expansion of their offense, especially in a free ball transition opportunity. Rat Ray comes flying in. If you haven't seen Rat Ray play in person, he's a big jumper, very athletic. Basically crushing that ball at the 10-foot line with no blocker. Here's Aguilar with his jump float serve, down by 4. Pass by Gomez, right side by Gershfeld, block back. Langston Kane tried to tip that one over, but swing and a miss. Strike 1 and another point for the Ramblers, now down by 3, 19 serving 22. Here's Antoine Aguilar, jump float serve. Pass by Gomez. Back row attack by Hubbard off of the chicken wing dig from Aguilar that doesn't get up in the air, and that ball goes out of bounds as an unplayable. Nice back row attack by Tyler Hubbard. Give the point to Southern Exposure as Lev Gershfeld now prepares to serve. 23 serving 19. Inching closer to the 25-point finish line. Passed up by Rat Ray. Backside by Mather. Solo block. Mather versus Hubbard, and Hubbard wins that challenge. Mark him a solo block for Tyler Hubbard, and Southern Exposure now has set point number 1. Well-formed block there by Southern Exposure and Tyler Hubbard. We have Gershfeld now serving. Serve pass by Osmondson. Left side attack by Rat Ray, tipped. Pancake dig, overpass by Lane, and that ball finds the floor. Lane says not yet. Scored a point for the Ramblers. Now down by 4. Ryan Mather preparing to serve. Set point still on the board for Southern Exposure. Now Mather's jump serve finds the net as Southern Exposure redeems that Game 1 loss with a 25-21 Game 2 victory here in match number 1. So here we are, deadlocked at 1 set apiece. And we'll have a match, best 2 out of 3 match now, as we see who will take this victory of the first match of the day. Once again, this is our first match of 5 matches today on the schedule here at the National Volleyball Association, event number 1 of our 2021 season. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. My name is Matt Prosser. I've got Victoria Dennis on the sideline getting the insider information as we work our way through 5 matches today. National Volleyball Association. Las Vegas Ramblers and the Southern Exposure currently tied at 1 set apiece in match number 1. Well, good morning, everybody. Once again, thank you for watching the National Volleyball Association. This is event number 1 of our 2021 season. We're 2 sets into our first match of the day, Las Vegas Ramblers, winning set number 1 over Southern Exposure, who came back and won set number 2. So we're currently deadlocked at 1 set apiece as this first match of 5 matches today here in Southern California. Thank you for watching and being a part of the National Volleyball Association. So if you've been watching this match so far, you've seen the Ramblers in set number 1 mount a late game comeback down by 4 points. I remember it was 17 serving 21, and they were able to come back and win that first set 26-24. However, Southern Exposure was able to provide a dominant performance in game number 2 and even the series. They won set number 2 25-21 just a couple of moments ago. We saw some good adjustments from both teams being done in order to make this highly competitive match just that much more competitive. You've seen a lot of strategy, you've seen some momentum shifts go back and forth, some high-level serving, some great blocking on both sides of the net here. You've seen the offensive units from both teams continue to speed their offense and throw in some little wrinkles to keep the blocking defense on both sides on their toes. As we've seen Brandon Rattray, a key player for the Ramblers, continue to carry the offensive load for the team in gold, as well as Tyler Hubbard having a great match thus far for Southern Exposure. That's number 1 in black. You'll see on the screen here, we're not changing sides of the court due to COVID protocols. We have our teams staying on their respective sides as we work our way through this match. If you've been watching volleyball this year, you've seen that that's sort of the new norm. And what to look for here out of game number 3 is that I think both teams will have to put an emphasis on their service games. We've had a few too many service errors by both sides. Not a lot of service aces, but both teams really do need to address their service errors, right? Be competitive with their serves. Making sure that the ball is in, hitting your service target, trying to hit those seams between players. Both sides making sure there's a good balance between jump spin serves and also those jump float serves, which we see from both teams. Offensively speaking, Derek Sullivan's been running a nice, even offense for Southern Exposure, getting Langston Payne involved, getting Lev Gershfeld involved from the back row, Alex Ciesla carrying a heavy offensive load from the right side attack as their opposite, and then obviously Tyler Hubbard being very active through the front row for Southern Exposure as well. As we start this third set, Las Vegas Ramblers will be serving first. They're the team in gold. Max Osmundson, number 3, he'll be taking over the duties as the first server for this third set as we get back to action here. Jump float serve, cross court, passed up by Hubbard. Right side attack by Ciesla, down the line, out of bounds. So Ramblers strike first blood on a hitting error from Alex Ciesla. Tempo set connection just wasn't quite there between Sullivan and Ciesla. There's Osmundson, once again, passed by Hubbard. Left side attack, Gershfeld goes down the line and off the block of number 8, Michael Keegan, who reached into the angle and gave Gershfeld an opportunity to take advantage of those targets to hit and tool out of bounds. Derek Sullivan, jump spin serve, passed by Manoujian. Right side back row from Mather. That ball ricochets as Gomez can't get a foot on it and give Mather a point. And we've seen a little adjustment here from the Ramblers to start this match. We see number 8, that is Michael Keegan taking over the setting duties, and Ryan Mather coming in to play opposite. There's Antoine Aguilar with his jump float serve, passed by Gershfeld. Tyler Hubbard out of the back row on a 40 big attack, and that ball goes out of bounds long. Give another point to the Ramblers now. 3 serving 1. Early action in set number 3 here. Antoine Aguilar now preparing to serve once again for the Ramblers. Jump float down the line, pass to Gershfeld. Langston Payne slaps it over, dug up and not returnable by the Ramblers. So give the point credit to Payne on a bit of a paintbrush. But it worked, and Southern Exposure earns a point, now down by 1. Lev Gershfeld, wearing number 7 in black. Jump serves off the tape, passed by Rattray. Quick attack by Lane, dug over by Gomez. Rattray on the left, down the line for a kill, taking advantage of the opportunity to swing line. Ciesla not sealing enough of the line alley for Rattray to take full advantage of. And he goes hard down the line for a point. Rattray continuing to carry a heavy offensive load for the Ramblers. And here we see Michael Keegan with his jump float serve. And Gomez can't get his hands behind the ball as that goes out of bounds. Something you haven't seen very often is an ace off of the libero for Southern Exposure. Johnny Gomez, the 5'11 libero from George Mason. Typically not a serving target as the back row specialists known for their passing. This ball passed by Hubbard, out of system attack coming. And Hubbard makes up for that poor pass, and he gets credit for a kill, going cross court, high hands for a swing. And the point goes to Southern Exposure. There's Langston Payne. Jump float serve, cross to Manoujian. Quick attack by Lane, a little 31 push set. He gets the nice kill. Quick attack out of the middle by Mark Payne. 31 action as the Ramblers continue to build their lead here. 3-point lead currently in this third set. Mark Lane, the 6'7" middle hitter out of Golden West College in Huntington Beach, California. This Rat Ray's jump serve goes out of bounds long as the Southern Exposure earned that point. And let's throw it over to Victoria for a quick insight. Victoria, what do you have for us? Great stuff, Victoria. Thank you very much. As you see the Ramblers there going on a bit of a run to bring us to 8-4 early action as we get to our first technical timeout. This early action in this third set. So
OC.
Now welcome back, everybody. Mark Lane with a jump float serve, passed up by Hubbard. Quick attack out of the middle by Lurich, but that's blocked by Antoine Aguilar once again. The middle blocker in gold from the Ramblers, Antoine Aguilar. Another block, I believe that's his fourth block of the match so far. A little help from Max Osmundson as the Ramblers continue with their momentum run right now. Hubbard with a left side attack, roll shot, dug. Unfortunately, that's going to be a back row attack from the Ramblers, so the point goes to Southern Exposure. And let's go over to Victoria for a little insight. Victoria, what do you have?
Thanks, Matt. Yes, coming into this set, Southern Exposure is really spreading their offense, and this is what's helping them in this match. The Ramblers tend to go to their outside and right side quite a bit. Coming into this set, Coach OJ for Southern Exposure mentioned how their block setup was better against the outside. They're getting touches and able to convert their defense to offense. Passing also stepped up, and their hustle plays are looking a lot better as that is creating momentum for their team. The Ramblers need to stop the BIC and slow down number 14. The wing blockers need to be aware of the BIC and need to be up on that if they want to stop and convert points in this set. Matt, back to you.
Great stuff, Victoria. Thank you very much for that great insight. As you see the Southern Exposure storming back and getting some blocks here, now only down by 2. As Hubbard jump serves to Rat Ray. Mather from the right again, over a block this time for a nice kill to redeem the previous swing where he was blocked by Hirschfeld. So Ryan Mather gets himself out of that rut, comes back with a nice kill, and now prepares to jump serve. 10 serving 7. Ramblers with a 3-point lead here. Early action in set number 3. Mather with a good, strong jump serve. Cecila out of the back row. And he gets the kill. Once again, like Victoria said, the Ramblers trying to figure out the riddle that is Alex Cecila's attacking lines for Southern Exposure as he continues to carry a heavy offensive load for the team in black. Here's Tim Lurich, jump serve, pass by Osmondson. Outside attack from the Ramblers. Off the high hands. Osmondson's not the biggest outside hitter, but you can see that attack line from the swing was sort of up into the blocker's hands, and it ricochets out of bounds for a point. Max Osmondson using some good range from his shoulder and his attack lines to maybe negate some of that height disadvantage he may have. There's a jump float serve to Tyler Hubbard. Cecila again from the back row. Rattled around and not able to get played back up in the air. And Cecila again with another kill for Southern Exposure. Cecila grabs his setter, says, keep setting me the ball. They can't stop me. Now 9 serving 11, Southern Exposure. Down by 2. Derek Sullivan, the setter, his jump serve. Finds Manoujian. There's Mather out of the back row. And he scores the point with a strong back row attack, cross court for the winner. And the Ramblers bounce right back with a side out of their own. Relying on Mather, his attack lines from the right side, clearly seeing a matchup that they want to expose as Mather against the blockers of Southern Exposure. Antoine Aguilar now with his jump float serve. Down the line to Gershfeld. Out of system, Cecila from the left, dug up by Mather. Here's Rattray in transition. Strong attack, and we have a touch called. Score the point to the Ramblers. Give credit to Brandon Rattray with a kill in transition. Southern Exposure arguing that there was no touch. However, the lines judge called that with some conviction, and there's now going to be a timeout called by Southern Exposure. They need to discuss it as they find themselves down by 4 points about midway through this third set. So you see the Las Vegas Ramblers creating some momentum as we continue through this third set. Getting some nice transition kills from both Ryan Mather and Brendan Rattray, relying heavily on their transition attack lines, their high line hits, and then you see Max Osmondson really taking advantage of his range and negating that height disadvantage that we spoke about a couple minutes ago when he took that kill off the block of Southern Exposure and out of bounds. Almost aiming more towards the wall, not so much inside the court, in order to get that kill and score the point for his team. Southern Exposure still relying on Alex Cecila. Look for them to maybe run a quick attack right out of this timeout. Get a quick side out, really emphasize the importance of a good pass up to the top of the net so their setter Derek Sullivan can run a quick offense here. Here's Antoine Aguilar, jump float down the line to Gershfeld. Sullivan goes to Cecila, roll shot, dug up by Osmondson. Out of system here, Mather has to free ball it over. Dug up by Gomez. Cecila again from the left side. One-handed dig by Rattray and not able to get played up by Lane. And Southern Exposure manufactures a nice side out. Gives themselves an opportunity here to pull within 3 points or more, depending on what happens with this serve from Lev Gershfeld. Lev Gershfeld, 6'3", outside hitter, played his college at San Jose State University, and his serve finds the net. Back to a 4-point lead for the Las Vegas Ramblers. Michael Keegan now preparing to show us his jump float serve. His serve also finds the top of the tape, and that doesn't trickle over, comes back. Give the point to Southern Exposure. So a couple consecutive service errors here from both teams as the midpoint of this third set here. Langston Payne with his jump float. Passed by Manoujian. Right side attack by Rattray. Miscommunication on timing, but dug up by Cecila. Free balled over by Payne. Rattray again from the right, and this time his attack goes high off the hands out of bounds. give the point to the Las Vegas Ramblers. So Rattray with a couple of attempts from the right side as what's known as the 0-1 player. He's the outside hitter position that will take some hitting attempts on the left side of the court and also in one rotation the right side of the court. This jump serve gets passed by Gershfeld. Here's Ciesla on the right. That ball gets blocked back deep into the court. Mark Lane finding another block for the Ramblers as we've reached our 16th point and second technical timeout of this third set. Ramblers find themselves with a nice 5-point cushion on the shoulders of Brendan Rattray's attacking and Mark Lane's blocking. You've seen some strong blocking from the Las Vegas Ramblers. They've got some good, tall players here. Their middle blockers are both 6'7", 6'8", respectively. You've got Ryan Mather, he's 6'8", 6'9". Antoine Aguilar, 6'8" as well. Brandon Rattray, 6'5", area 6'6". So blocking a key in the men's volleyball game. If you're a follower, a fan of watching men's volleyball, you see a lot of really tall players now really putting an emphasis on height in their block and defense, their strategies, getting 4 or 6 hands, 2 to 3 players in front of the opposing hitter in order to create a strong wall, if you will, or a good solid strong block to challenge that offensive hitter on the other side of the court. So on the other side of the net, Southern Exposure, they find themselves down by 5 here, halfway through the third set. Their passing is broken down a little bit. Their service game is broken down a little bit. And they need to sort of create some momentum here and get a little excitement. That's nice serve by Rattray. Here's Gershfeld out of the back row, blocked back by Lane. Hubbard tips it over, deflected and dug up. Osmondson has to tip it over to keep it in play, dug by Sullivan. Gomez goes to Ciesla. That one's dug by the libero. Bump quick set, dug up by Gomez. Hubbard in transition. That ball goes out of bounds. No touch is indicated. And another point goes to the Ramblers. Seen the very rarely used bump quick set there by Michael Keegan. Mark Lane didn't quite connect but kept it in play, and Rattray now jump serves. Gomez with an overpass, controlled by Osmondson. Right side by Mather here for another point. Ramblers find themselves in a controlling lead now with a 7-point advantage. And Coach OJ of Southern Exposure decides to use his second timeout and needs to try to get a pause in the momentum here that the Ramblers have created, give his team a chance to catch a breather, maybe take a sip, and create some kind of game plan strategy here to earn a side out, see what they can do to manufacture a couple of points from their service game and cut into this 7-point lead that the Ramblers have been able to manufacture here through this third set. So now Southern Exposure's out of timeouts, right? So no more timeouts from their side. We're through our technical timeouts. So now the Las Vegas Ramblers, I believe, have 2 timeouts remaining as well. Thank you to my stat crew for that information as we work our way through here. And we have Brandon Rattray now jump serving. Low toss, quick serve spin. Passed up by Gershfeld. Here's Hubbard with an out-of-system swing. Rattles around. Ball gets slapped over by Keegan. Sullivan goes quick to Lou Rich. Blocked back by Lane. Ciesla now roll shot, dug by Mather. Left side by Osmondson, and he finds the kill. Going strong into the cross court. No need to tool the block that time. Nice, aggressive transition swing by Max Osmondson, the small outside hitter for Ramblers, creating an 8-point advantage now. And the service game of Rattray really helping the Ramblers. Passed up by Gomez. Ciesla on the right. That ball goes out of bounds. So the proverbial wheels have kind of fallen off Southern Exposure here as the Ramblers now first team to 20 points, a 9-point advantage. Currently carrying all the momentum here through set number 3, and Brandon Rattray's jump serving. That ball goes out of bounds long as he really decided to go for it at that point. When you have a 9-point advantage, it's sort of free reign to get after it, as they say. Nice service run by Rattray as now Ciesla prepares to jump serve for Southern Exposure. And his serve finds the net. So Ciesla needs to find some Red Bull or some sugar. He seems a little bit flat here as his bowl of Wheaties isn't carrying through this third set. Consecutive errors by number 14 in black and pink. Mark Lane now, middle blocker for the Ramblers with his jump float serve. Pass by Hubbard. Right side attack by Ciesla, back row. That ball doesn't clear the net as Antoine Aguilar says nope, it didn't make it over. As the Ramblers score their 21st point. We're going to see a substitution here. Alex Ciesla is going to come out and maybe get some second breakfast. And we're going to see Eddie Hoshukian, the 5'11" outside hitter, come in again. We saw him briefly in game number 1. He's now come back in game number 2, and he's going to play opposite for Southern Exposure. Mark Lane serves over to Hubbard. Pass dumped by Sullivan, and that ball goes out of bounds. We have 23-12, an 11-point advantage for the Ramblers, with Southern Exposure possibly just trying to finish off this set and conserve some energy as they prepare to come to game number 4 with a little bit more fire. Here's Lou Rich with a nice quick attack for a point. Something that the Southern Exposure will need to develop is a bit more quick attack between Lou Rich and Sullivan as this match continues to progress. Here's Hubbard with a jump float serve, jump spin serve, excuse me, passed by Rattray. Keegan goes one-headed set to Mather, roll shot and dug by Gomez. Another quick attack, and this one's not able to be returned. So a consecutive quick attack point for Southern Exposure. I think Sullivan might have heard what I was saying, trying to develop more of that middle attack rhythm between Sullivan and Lou Rich. Southern Exposure now down by 9. Hubbard with a jump serve, and that's an ace off the libero in black, number 99, Ryan Manoujian. He can't contain Hubbard's jump spin serve. Another point to Southern Exposure. Really trying to create some kind of excitement, some momentum that can either maybe come back into the third set, but most likely carried over to the fourth set. There's a ball passed by Rattray. Aguilar blocked by Lou Rich. Osmondson roll shot. Pancake by Gomez. Gershfeld blocked. Controlled. Overpass. Keegan goes over to Mather. Oh, Mather tries to swipe. Joust and swipe, and Gershfeld says, "Not against me, sir." And that is a straight joust throwdown by Lev Gershfeld. Really jumped up high in the air, sort of hung in the air, and throws that ball back down. Ball rattled around, passed by Lou Rich. Sullivan being involved way off the net with a dump, as all of a sudden Southern Exposure has created some momentum. The Las Vegas Ramblers seem to be spinning a little bit and can't quite kind of find their feet as they decide to call a timeout. They do have a nice 6-point advantage here late in game number 3, but Southern Exposure has really been able to create some momentum. They've gotten some quick point manufacturing from Lou Rich and Sullivan. Some strong serving from Hubbard. Nice to see a good response here by Southern Exposure as they try to create some momentum going into the fourth set here. Once again, this match is tied at one set apiece. We saw Las Vegas Ramblers win set 1 by 2, 26-14, 26-24. And Southern Exposure come back to win set number 2 convincingly, 25-21. Here we are, once again, the business end of set number 3. Tyler Hubbard serving at 17-23. Hubbard's jump serve finds the net. Give credit to the coaching staff for that point. And the Las Vegas Ramblers now have set point in set number 3 here. Ryan Mather sauntering back to prepare his jump serve. High toss, jump spin, strong as Gomez gets aced. We'll give Ryan Mather the service ace credit to end that game, 25-27. Ryan Mather said, "That's enough of that. I will finish this game and serve an ace." So that's 2 aces off Johnny Gomez late in that third set to give set 3 win to the Las Vegas Ramblers. So here we go. Set number 3 is now in the books. Once again, 25-17. That victory goes to the Las Vegas Ramblers off of some good, solid service runs. We saw an ace there to finish that set. But earlier on, we saw about a 5 or 6 serve run by Brendan Rattray for the Ramblers. So that really helped to develop that cushion of lead, and they then were able to maintain that momentum for nearly the rest of that third set as Southern Exposure started to create a little bit of excitement on their side. They hit some quick attacks. They got a couple of aces. They created some sense of urgency and maybe a little bit of momentum as well on their side that they'll very much will be needed if they want to force a game 5 here and steal set number 4 as we prepare to move into game number 4 through this match. Lineup cards are being turned in on both teams. I don't expect to see any real major personnel changes. I think we'll see Alex Ciesla get put back in, Jacob Ciesla get put back in for Southern Exposure. He's their opposite. They took him out late in that third set. He looked like his energy levels might have dipped a little bit, but they're going to need him to level up his game and rely heavily on his offense as they hope to force a 5th set and win this game 4 here. And then over here on the Ramblers side, we saw some very strong blocking by them. Again, very strong serving. Blocking from Mark Lane and Antoine Aguilar, the 2 middle blockers for the Las Vegas Ramblers. Really patrolling the net. We saw some great swing attack choices from Max Osmundson, the smaller outside hitter in the 0-2 position for the Ramblers. He really has been putting his height to a good advantage, blocking against the taller blockers from Southern Exposure. Okay, so some strategies there to be taken care of. Let's throw it over to Victoria for some insights, please. Victoria?
Thanks, Matt. Yeah, coming out of that third set, Southern Exposure had 9 errors, and that was the difference maker in that third set. The Ramblers were very aggressive at the service line, which is how they were able to take that set out. Southern Exposure needs to limit their errors. They had 9 that set. Hopefully we'll see them clean it up here in the 4th. Matt?
Awesome, Victoria. Thank you so much for that. Both teams walking out on the court to get set number 4 started here. Once again, this is match number 1 of day 2. First match of 5 scheduled matches today for the National Volleyball Association, professional men's volleyball in the United States. Very exciting to see professional men's volleyball here, with volleyball players being able to play domestically as opposed to traveling overseas and trying to extend their playing careers in foreign leagues and foreign countries, and thankful for this opportunity to play professional men's volleyball at home here in the United States. Okay, so both teams out on the court. You'll see matching lineups as set number 3 finished. Ramblers going with Michael Keegan for the setting duties, Ryan Mather at opposite. Outside hitters, Brendan Rattray and Max Osmundson. Middle blockers, once again, Mark Lane and Antoine Aguilar. And that's Ryan Manoujian, number 99 in black, the libero for the Ramblers. For Southern Exposure, nothing changed just for them. Derek Sullivan setting. Jacob Ciesla opposite. Lou Rich and, Payne in the middle. Gershfeld as the opposite. Outside hitter. Mather with a big swing down the line, but that's dug up by Gomez. Aguilar to transition. A 31 attack for the Long Beach State alumni. Gets a point for a quick attack in transition. Nice dig by Gomez, but it goes over the net, and the Ramblers take advantage of the overpass free ball. First one's on the scoreboard here, 1-0 Ramblers. Aguilar jump float serves down the line. That's Gershfeld with the pass. Hubbard out of the back row. Mark Lane with a big solo block. Reaches into the wrist away and takes that away for another point to the Ramblers. Some confusion on Southern Exposure. Thought the ball was out. The team in blue called it in. Some mild arguing going on, but Once again, the block and defense of the Ramblers really showing their advantage in that department of this match so far. Here's Lurich. He goes quick attack, a set from Sullivan, a nice connection there. Continuing to build on that momentum rhythm that they created late in set number 3 between Lurich and Sullivan. So here's Lev Gershfeld, outside hitter for Southern Exposure. His jump serve. Pass by Manoujian. Ramblers go outside, block back but covered. Rattray attack again. Takes him off, tipped up, pancake. And Hubbard can't control that ball out of the net. So score the point for Rattray, and Ramblers now have a 3-1 lead early on in set number 4. Michael Keegan, setter out of IPFW, playing for Rock Parat over there at the Mastodons. There's a roll shot from Sisla. Mather in transition on the right, and he goes the line seam, finding the middle of the court for a nice kill in transition for the Ramblers as Ryan Mather continues to get warmed up in set number 4. Didn't start the match, came in about halfway through set number 1 as a double sub, and again halfway through set number 2, but has now started sets 3 and 4. Keegan unfortunately misses that jump float serve and lets Southern Exposure off the hook, as they now find themselves down by 2 points. There's Tim Lurich, 6'5" middle, University of Minnesota. Jump serve. That ball goes what's called out of bounds by the line judge, but is then overturned by the up ref as an ace. So give the ace credit to Tim Lurich. Once again, no challenge system here, no high definition instant replays. Lurich continues to serve. Pass by Osmondson. Quick attack by Lane. Dug up, but not returnable by Southern Exposure. Give the kill credit to Mark Lane, contributing out of the middle. He's scored a lot of points with his block and defense, but hasn't got a lot of attacking opportunities. So good to see him getting involved as the Ramblers continue to round out their offense. Brendan Rattray now getting ready for his jump serve. High toss, strong serve. That ball ricochets off Gershfeld, out of bounds for a point. So give ace credit to Brendan Rattray again, looking to create another service run. Gershfeld not able to get his arms far enough away from his body on that serve as it came at him pretty high and hard. Not used to seeing those kinds of serves at San Jose State, and that ball goes hit long. Save the cliche, just a tad out of bounds, but that one nearly hit the back wall on the fly. Rattray just missed it. Jacob Sisla now, number 14. Jump serving for Southern Exposure. Bit of a roll shot, pass by Rattray. Osmondson goes high off the hands, out of bounds long again. Max Osmondson continuing to contribute and pick those smart attacking lines as a smaller outside hitter going high off the hands. Don't try to hit it straight down if you're only 6'1", 6'2". Figure out a way to use those hands and attack the hands and have that ball ricochet out of bounds so their back row players can't continue to play that ball. Here's Sisla out of the back row. That ball goes off of, I believe, the head of Antoine Aguilar. Sisla saw the seam open up and took full advantage of it. Osmondson and Aguilar couldn't quite get shoulder to shoulder on that one. So here's Hubbard now, down by 2. Southern Exposure looking to create some points and some momentum. Nice serve. Rattray passed out his system. Mather from the right. 3-man block. Dug up by Gomez. Overpassed. Mather again with the overpass swing, and this time his follow-through hits the net. Score the point to Southern Exposure as Mather's follow-through just tickled the top of the net there. There's Hubbard on a little mini run. Pass by Manoujian. Outside to Osmondson. Blocked back. And we have a looked to be a back row violation or a net violation on the Ramblers. And now we have Southern Exposure tying it at 7. Hubbard again on another service run. Passed by Rattray, out of system, shoveled up. Here's Mather out of system. That ball goes outside the antenna, and the Southern Exposure have now gone on a 3-point run. We find ourselves at our first technical timeout, 8 serving 7. So Southern Exposure, after an ace from Brendan Rattray off of Lev Gershfeld, Southern Exposure is rebounded to go on a mini run of their own off of the service game from Tyler Hubbard. 3 straight points, and we're going to throw it over to Victoria, who's got a little bit of insider information on some strategies from both teams.
Thanks, Matt. These teams need to control the easy plays, control the controllable balls, and convert. Both sides really need to do this if they want to get on runs in this match. Matt?
Awesome, Victoria. Thank you for that. You're totally right. I couldn't agree with you more. The multiple point scoring runs is what we have seen create these leads in the last 2 sets of this match. Even early on in the first set, when the Ramblers were down by 4 and were able to come back and win, they went on a 4-point run. So you'll hear it very often. Volleyball is a game of runs. Those runs create momentum that both sides can tend to feed on, right, and work off of each other. And you see those runs develop and maintain some multiple point scoring opportunities for both teams. So we've seen it again here now as Southern Exposure's gone on a little mini run, and we're still early on in this 4th set. Tyler Hubbard once again passed up by Manoujian. Here's a backside attack by Mather. Strong cross-court attack. Ciesla can't control that with one hand. And Mather earns a side out for the Ramblers. And we're now deadlocked at 8. Much needed side out by the Ramblers. There's Ryan Mather, 6'8" opposite from Redondo Beach, California. Played his college volleyball at Grand Canyon University. Rattray out of the back row in transition, a bit of a bick. A back row quick attack in transition. Nice to see the connection continue to develop from Michael Keegan and Brandon Rattray there. A back row bick in transition. All based off of the strong serve from Ryan Mather. See if Southern Exposure can control this pass. Oh, roll shot from Mather. Here goes a quick attack. Southern Exposure, a quick attack from Langston Payne. Bit of a 31 push set from Derek Sullivan to Langston Payne. Haven't called his name much early on in this 4th set. But Langston Payne continuing to score points out of the middle for Southern Exposure. And a jump float serve from Payne now. Passed up by Rattray. Mather out of the back row. And we have a touch called. Touch on the block called, so give credit to the kill to Mather. Las Vegas Ramblers manufacture a side out of a non-perfect pass from Rattray. Now we have Max Osmundson back to serve. Number 3, listed as 6'2", outside hitter from Hope International University in Irvine. Gershfeld with a strong attack line, going down the line for a point. That one bounces in front of Mather's defense and just outside the block of Michael Keegan. Nice attack line by Lev Gershfeld. Southern Exposure is going to need to get some production out of Lev if they want to have a chance to force a 5th set here. Keegan goes the easy dump. Brandon Rattray passed that ball up to the top of the net, and Keegan with the left-handed dump that I'm sure he learned from Coach Perrott out there in Fort Wayne, Indiana during his playing days at IPFW. Here's Antoine Aguilar now, jump float serve. Down the line, pass by Gershfeld. Sullivan sets left side to Ciesla. He takes advantage of the line seam on a non-perfectly formed block by Keegan and Lane. And Ciesla finds the middle of the court for a Southern Exposure point. Tied at 11 points apiece. There's Lev Gershfeld again, jump serving. Pass by Osmundson. Keegan on the run. Mather back row attack out of system against the flow for a strong swing by Mather. Gets the Ramblers out a little bit of trouble. They're struggling to pass the ball right now prior to that server. It's Michael Keegan now preparing to jump float serve for the Ramblers. Find themselves with a 1-point lead. Jump float, nice hybrid serve, tickles the tape. Hubbard comes in. Dug up by Keegan. Here's Rattray in transition with a Strong cross-court attack by Rattray, feeling his transition attacking. Rattray really has been a strong transition attacker for the Ramblers. Southern Exposure is having a very hard time figuring out the riddle of how to stop Rattray in transition. Perhaps they're going to try to figure that out right now as Coach OJ calls a timeout for Southern Exposure. Brendan Rattray continues to carry a strong offensive load, specifically in transition again for the Las Vegas Ramblers, who find themselves now up 13-11. Find themselves up 13-11 here, about midway through this fourth set. Thank you again for being here. My name is Matt Prosser. Happy to be bringing you guys live professional men's volleyball here in the United States. We're in Southern California. This is day number 2 of our first event in 2021, first event of 4. And again, this is our first match of a full day of volleyball. We have 5 matches scheduled of some very highly competitive, high-level professional men's volleyball. More than happy to bring this to you. As both teams come back out onto the court, Las Vegas Ramblers with a 2-point lead over Southern Exposure, as Michael Keegan continues to serve for the team wearing the gold jerseys, the Las Vegas Ramblers. Michael Keegan setting from IPFW. Jump float serve, passed by Hubbard, set by Gomez. Cisla out of system, blocked up and dug by Keegan. Manouchian sets, bit of chowder, and that ball is played out of bounds by Ryan Mather. So a bit of out of system play, not the prettiest volleyball right there, but unfortunately the Ramblers had a hard time there in transition. So here's Tim Lurich serving for Southern Exposure. Pass by Manouchian. Keegan goes outside to Mather from the left. A strong attack line, high in the air. Mather 6'8", he's hitting that ball at a pretty high point. And that ball ricochets off of Lev Gershfeld. That's unreturnable by Southern Exposure. So a point scored for the Ramblers. Once again, Ryan Mather getting his number called, and we see Brendan Rattray on the back row now, 14 serving 12. Ramblers in the lead. Rattray, strong serve off Gershfeld. Cisla from the right, tips, dug up by Mather. There's Rattray out of the back row. That ball doesn't go over the net. Unfortunately, the tempo connection there wasn't quite on point for a swing in transition. Here's Jacob Cisla now preparing to jump serve. Southern Exposure finding themselves down by 1. The former Matador from Cal State Northridge jump serves. Bit of a miss hit, pass by Rattray. Mark Lane goes quick, dug by Gomez. Right side to Mather. That ball finds the floor as Gershfeld cannot dig any kind of Mather heat for another point to Ryan Mather and a side out by the Ramblers. Good mid-game action, set number 4. Ramblers with the advantage, 2-1 in this morning match here. National Volleyball Association. Gershfeld with the pass. Leighton Peng with the point, and here we're going to have a little bit of info from our sideline reporter, Victoria Dennis, right now.
Thanks, Matt. Out of that timeout, look for the Ramblers trying to force Southern Exposure to hit line. Exposure wants their outsides to keep swinging cross body and keep the high energy. Ramblers want to force them to hit line, so let's look for that as the set continues. Matt?
Awesome, Victoria. Thank you so much for that as we have reached our second technical timeout. Ramblers find themselves with a 2-point advantage, 16 serving 14 once we get out of this technical timeout. So we're doing technical timeouts based off FIVB protocols at points 8 and 16 through each set. Each team has 2 of their own timeouts they could use whenever they seem necessary. Obviously, match specifications, we're going best 3 out of 5, games to 25. 5th game, if necessary, will be to 15 points. You'll see that our teams are staying on their respective sides of the court due to some COVID protocols and social distance safety, sort of the new norm for any volleyball that you've been watching, whether it be professional or at the collegiate level. But we're just excited to be here. Honored to be bringing professional beach volleyball to you live through this platform and playing some highly professional level, high-level professional volleyball here from the National Volleyball Association. Again, day number 2 of event 1 of our 2021 schedule, scheduled for 4 events throughout the summer. So Ramblers now ready to serve. Ryan Mather back, jump serving. Controlled and kept in play, overpass by Gershfeld, and we have a net violation on Derek Sullivan. Number 15 as Antoine Aguilar tipped that ball back. So Ryan Mather produces a point, manufactures an overpass. Gershfeld clearly seeming to be the serving target that the Ramblers are picking on here as we continue through this match. Very important to determine who the passing target is. Mather can't find the court on that bit of a mishit. Try to take a little bit more off as opposed to go for it. One of the risk-reward opportunities there when you try to hit a serving target versus just a green light, go for it, hit it as hard as you want type situation. Here's Leighton Payne. Payne with his jump float serve. That ball slapped around, free balled over. Aguilar blocked back, tipped, covered. Mather in transition. Off the block for a point. Ryan Mather coming up big out of the back row transition kill from the right side. Give the point to the Las Vegas Ramblers as they inch closer to possibly winning this match in 4. Now with a 3-point lead, 18 serving 15. Max Osmundson, jump float serve, lines up, serves it over to Gomez. Sullivan goes quick to Lurich, but that's Doug. Rat Ray in transition. They cannot stop Rat Ray. And what a big dig by Manouchian to extend that rally. Southern Exposure is going to call a quick timeout, hopefully to prevent an additional momentum build by the Las Vegas Ramblers. So that's Southern Exposure's second timeout. They are now out of timeouts. They are now out of timeouts through the rest of this 4th game. They find themselves down by 4. Okay, Las Vegas Ramblers seem to have a pretty good strategy now in place. I think they've determined who their serving targets will be, whether it's Lev Gershfeld or Tyler Hubbard or Johnny Gomez, the libero. Typically, you'll see them serve away from the libero, but depending on who is serving and what seams they want to attack, it seems as if that strategy is starting to pay dividends for the Las Vegas Ramblers. For the Southern Exposure, you really got to kind of, again, create some excitement, some sense of urgency. They find themselves down by 4 points right now. They need to right the ship, see how to create some points and urgency if they want to possibly force a 5th set. There's Cecil out of the back row. And that hitting error does not help their cause as his contact with the ball is not quite where he wanted it, and that ball goes out of bounds long. You see another substitution here for Southern Exposure as Jacob Cecil is going to catch a breather, and once again, Eddie Mashukian is going to come back in and play back row opposite for Southern Exposure, the 5'11" opposite. Gets ready to make some contributions for the team in black. Got some sweat cleanup going on center court here as Max Osmundsson now prepares to serve. Las Vegas Ramblers with a 5-point lead, first team to 20. Jump float serve here, cross court to Gomez. It's outside to Gershfeld with a strong kill on a one-on-one blocking situation. He goes continuing to attack the outside hand of Michael Keegan. Seems to be a bit of a liability blocking at the net. That matchup between Gershfeld and Keegan has really produced points for Gershfeld and Southern Exposure. Derek Sullivan, the setter for Southern Exposure, with a jump serve, passed up by Manouchian. Quick attack by Aguilar for a quick point. Nice high quick attack by Antoine Aguilar as the Ramblers score 21, and we'll see a substitution back as Cecil comes back into the front row now for Southern Exposure. Score clarification as Antoine Aguilar now prepares to serve at 21 serving 16. Jump float down the line to Gershfeld. Back set attack to Gershfeld, and he goes out of bounds. So 2 consecutive hitting errors by Southern Exposure, starting to give the Ramblers a little blood in the water type of They can sense that they're getting close to the finish line. You maybe start smelling that late morning brunch that they're going to go to or early lunch. And here comes Cisla from the left again. He goes down the line for a nice kill. So nice response by Cisla, finding some energy, creating a bit of urgency for the team in black and pink as Lev Gershfeld goes back to serve now for Southern Exposure. Down by 5. Jump serve, strong Otta system pass. Here's Mather with a set. Rattray keeps it in play. Gomez sets left side to Hubbard. Blocked up, dug by Rattray. Mather out of the back row in transition, and he deflects off the high hands for a kill. Another kill for Ryan Mather as he's continued to produce for the Las Vegas Ramblers, now with a 6-point advantage, 23 serving 17. Southern Exposure trying to solve the riddle of how to side out, score some points of their own here. Here comes Michael Keegan with his jump float serve. Cross court, tape trickler, passed up by Sullivan. Looking for a free ball from Gershfeld. That ball comes over, but out of bounds wide. So nice hustle play there by Southern Exposure. A great trickle serve by Keegan, and Southern Exposure now has their first match point opportunity. A 7-point advantage, 24 serving 17. Michael Keegan, jump float serve. And that ball finds the net. So score the point to Southern Exposure, one of the 7 deadly sins of serving. You never miss your serve on match point. I'm sure Michael Keegan will get a reprimanding after that. So here's Southern Exposure jump serve, pass up by Osmondson. Rattray for the match. Yes, big swing by Rattray. Who else did you think was going to get the opportunity to score match point? And Brendan Rattray goes with a cross-court winner. And the Las Vegas Ramblers win that match. They win the set 25-18, win the match in 4 sets, 3 sets to 1. Game scores 26-24, 21-25, 25-17, and finally 25-18. Finish off that first set of day number 2 here at National Volleyball Association action. You saw the Las Vegas Ramblers increase their overall record to 2-0, winning their 2nd consecutive match. They won yesterday, and they'll win today again in 4 sets, so they'll get the points added to their bank as Southern Exposure suffers their first loss of the season. Their record now falls to 1-1 and will score, I believe, 1 point in their league scoring as they continue through this event. So as the coaches' interviews continue to get done, I believe we have key players to discuss from that match. We've got Victoria Dennis with player of the match for the Las Vegas Ramblers, Brandon Rattray, standing by on courtside.
Thanks, Matt. Brandon, you had 20 kills that game, batting .580. What was your mentality coming to this match?
You know, just getting out here, being able to play with a great group of guys. This Rambler team, pretty incredible, as you can see. Being able to play with my boys, Stephen Duho and Michael Keegan, is incredible. Just great group of guys, like I said. We have a great time off the court. You know, it's the first time this group's been together, and I'm pretty impressed by the way we clash and collab. It's pretty cool.
Absolutely. And you just finished playing in Spain. What is it like playing for the NVA as compared to overseas?
Oh, it's good level here. I'm pretty impressed coming back from over there and how high the level is here. It's pretty cool, and I'm stoked for volleyball in America to be growing and just moving forward. You know, we're going to keep doing things to get this sport off the ground and bigger as the next generation comes in. So,
absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for that, Victoria, and congratulations to the Las Vegas Ramblers and Brandon Rattray for getting the first victory of day number 2 here with a strong victory over the Southern Exposure team, 4 games to 1. We saw some high-level volleyball here, bringing professional men's volleyball in the United States here at the National Volleyball Association. So for now, we're going to take a quick break. Please come back for our next match scheduled for 11:30 this morning. Broadcast will begin a couple minutes before that. That will be the Stunners versus the Tyrants.